Hey, this is Notser, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Puerto Rico. This is the premium Tier 10 American Heavy Cruiser / Battle Cruiser that will be making its way to the game in the near future. This is a work in progress ship. The stats are definitely not final. Also, Wargaming has given me early access and free access to the Puerto Rico. It's a part of being a CC. It's a really nice perk, and it gives me an opportunity, hopefully, to share my unbiased opinion without having any influence one way or the other that I have to spend money and I have to justify to my mind. This really is just another ship in my inventory. Would I play it over any other? We'll see as far as the impression goes for this video. It is a great game. This is an outstanding game, and it has a little bit of everything. You know, it's got some DDs. We do encounter some DDs. We're firing on some battleships. There is an aircraft carrier. You will get to see just how potent our AA is, and notice I'm not using defensive AA. Since the adjustment of defensive AA, it's really a situational pick because it's not contributing as much towards your continuous damage, which is unavoidable. They increase the avoidable damage, flak damage boost, but if an enemy aircraft carrier is aware of what he's trying to do, he can pretty much mitigate it very well. So I really have hard switched over from defensive AA to hydroacoustic, and I'm very happy to announce that on this ship, you do not miss defensive AA at all, as long as you're using priority sector. So we're firing on this Yamato from range. The one issue with this variant versus the Alaska, and this has been something that I have felt, and you probably noticed in the Alaska videos, the concealment is very difficult. It feels very similar to something like the Missouri with regard to the radar. You can't one-to-one spot when you are spotted by a DD because they entered into your concealment and it is the same range as radar. You really have to be very aware of where the enemy could possibly be in a distance relationship. Otherwise, you could find yourself wasting a radar. I mean, the best possible concealment on the ship. Ooh, that's a really nice broadside. 16,000, not bad. But the best possible concealment is 13.8 kilometers. That's with concealment module, concealment expert in the commander, and obviously I'm using the premium camo that comes equipped. So 13.8 is a really big gap between the 10-kilometer range radar check. It's one of the worst traits of this, and on top of that, the rudder gets really, really nerfed compared to the Alaska. The Alaska rudder is like 11, 12 seconds, and you can buff it to about 10.5. This one by default is 15-second rudder, 14, 15 seconds. So the best you could possibly hope to make it is in the 12.5 range, and that's horrendously battleship. So you find yourself being, very stationary, honestly at times, not very active maneuvering. Obviously, as you can see, the way I've set this up, I am trying to contribute by basically giving my radar a little bit of a coverage over B point and firing on the enemies as they're coming in. This allows me to open my angle so I can take full advantage. If you can't bring all 12 guns to bear, you might as well play the Alaska, because the little bit of boost in armor, and it is a very tiny boost, it's probably like 2 to 6 millimeters average boost from the top of the hull to the deck plating. The side of the ship gets probably 20 or 30 millimeters more, and it has very similar, its citadel is inside the ship, and you have to go through extensive armor. And the armor is really nice because actively maneuvering is rewarded, especially at the waterline. So you're going to see some really set up angles against enemy battleships, and I could weather the storm quite well. And this enemy hipper, he's moving up. We've got our 12 guns. Get a nice little citadel, 12,000 damage. If you send enough out, something's going to land. And that is absolutely, totally true. Because it is a battle cruiser, it does suffer from the 1 minute duration on fire. So I would highly recommend you guys invest in the signal flag that lowers the duration of fire, because it will burn you out. You don't have the kind of recovery that a traditional battleship would have. Plus, traditional battleships probably using fire prevention. I'm using my Des Moines commander. It's a little bit more on the hostile side, a little bit aggressive. I do use radiolocation versus fire prevention, and I'm trying to tie that into radar. If I can get a general idea of where the enemy is coming, if I see another target that is a similar distance to my radar, if this target that is not being spotted is 12 kilometers away, and there might be a DD that must be closer than 12, well, I can put 2 and 2 together. So radiolocation with radar works out very well. And so far, we've been doing quite well against the enemy. Very unopposed position. I really appreciate it, actually. It's very rare that I get to just fire my guns on cooldown. Now, 18.8 kilometer range, not the most impressive. You could extend it out, but then you would give up on some of that reload improvement. And the reload is really getting the job done, I think. And we get another nice big broad citadel on the Zao. We've done almost 92,000 damage in almost 8 minutes. Very nicely done, right? And our team has lost 2 ships. We are at a disadvantage, but we haven't really sustained much fire. We've been pretty concealed by islands, and oh, speaking of fire, enemy Motto is going to fire on us. It's okay, we're going to accelerate forward. I did choose to have an improved rudder build. If I were to do it all over again, based on how I was playing this, I might go acceleration. Because I was able to, stay near an island, provide good defensive support, and be there in case of radar. But enemy Zao pushing forward, that's okay. I'm going to hide my ship behind the island and focus 100% on the Zao. What's he going to do? Just fire at me? Well, if he fires at me, well, we've got all of these ships. And, at this point in the game, I'm like, guys, do we really have to be grouped up like this? It seems that everyone has sort of congregated to the area of the map that I decided to establish, and now I have to decide, oh, do I want to be there? No. Friendly Ohio gets a nice blap on the Zao, just as we are successful in getting another Citadel for 8,900. And here's a good example. I was feeling, there is a Alsace moving through the capture at B, and you'll notice that the radiolocation kind of switched. So I go, does that mean that there's a DD close? So I'm going to use hydroacoustic just in case. We're all grouped up. And eventually I'm going to be like, you know what? Yeah, there is a DD close, because he did show that the radiolocation pointed towards him, but then it switched back when the Alsace. So that absolutely gave me a tell that, hey, there's something closer. I wouldn't have known that without radiolocation. Just one of those tips. Now the kid, he turns away. He's able to avoid. Hydro's able to detect. The JB, unfortunately, takes a torpedo. But I am moving forward. I am keeping the kid spotted, and thankfully he decides to fire, so I don't really need to still be in radar range. I'm moving over here because my team seemingly is afraid of confronting the enemy. And if we let them get momentum inside of B, well, they'll just pick off one by one. Maybe our aircraft carrier on the corner near A, maybe the team out wide, so I'm just going to pick on them. I'm going to pick on the target that has the lowest health, fire all my guns at an angled target. 12 guns are pretty good. They're pretty good. Something's going to hit the Citadel. That's what I've found with the Puerto Rico so far. Something finds the Citadel, and all of a sudden, they are knocked out. Seattle, we've got a Balti. I'm going to try shooting at the Balti, going for the guns at least. We want to try and keep the Alsace alive as long as possible. Do very mediocre damage, honestly, and the Ibuki, unfortunately, is right in the way, so I have to cut my speed, hoping that the angle, and the Seattle underestimates how quickly I reload, and we're going to get this broadside right on him. I hope we knock him out. We knock him out. There we go. More Citadels for the Puerto Rico. Teammate, unfortunately, I don't know what his play was. I don't know why he was turning in and showing a flat broadside. I'm just trying to slowly angle out, just as I would with any battleship. And the Puerto Rico can weather it quite well. In fact, I'm kind of afraid of the Georgia. Oh, and we take basically 10,000 damage from, I think, a Richelieu in that angle. So I need to get this done quickly. I would really like this Balti to be dead. Teammate, once again, the Ohio, 2 for 2 on getting the last possible shot on a target right before I was ready to reload and fire on him. I really appreciate the clutch timing, but every single time it's been a waste of a salvo. And Speaking of not wasting a salvo, this Hipper, I fired on him before at the beginning of the game, and I would like to finish the job. So I notice obviously he's broadside, and we're just going to lead him the necessary amount, hoping that the shells will eventually land on him. He won't change his direction, and of course they do. We get 4 penetrations, and we knock out that target. We really needed that little bit of engagement because my team was just not really interested in tanking any damage. They're all grouped up behind it and hiding, and nobody was willing to do what was necessary. And I think what was necessary at that time, we needed to get some clutch kills on low targets, and that's exactly what happened. Friendly Kagero keeping the target spotted. Of course, one of the 2 enemy DDs is coming in here, and I want to deal with them, of course. We want to deal with the Georgia too. He's really the one that is left in this area, other than the Yamato, that can overmatch pretty much all my angling and laugh at it. I don't really want that. I kind of want him to not. And teammates are trying to contribute. Friendly Kagero gets a nice torpedo send, hits him right on the nose. Looks like the Georgia will probably die. I would love to shoot the French DD. He was the preferred target there, but unfortunately, momentum. He's too fast. He's got enough. Again. It's 3 for 3. Just as our shells are in flight, teammates finish him off. Hey, that's good though. It's contributing to keeping this guy alive. And this French DD, he is chasing after Kagero, so I'm doing everything I can. He's spotted clearly. I don't need radar. I'm gonna try and wait it out. Yep, of course he shows back up. We gotta kill this guy. I'm trying so desperately, and yes, we do. We're able to kill him just before he kills off the friendly. Enemy Richelieu, who got good damage. I'm a little afraid of torpedoes. That's why I use Hydro. Since we killed the DD and since he was not spotted anymore, I don't really need to use my radar. I want to kind of save that in case I need to go hunting for the kid. So we're just going to work on the Richie. Showing a little too much side. I was obviously just splayed out there. I was sort of diving in front of the Kagero, doing whatever I could to absorb shells and finish off the enemy DD. We did. It set us up for a bad side, but, you know, the enemy team, he might volunteer his side to us too. Okay, 6 penetrations and only did 42, so his gun absorbs some damage. If we are able to have a similar position with our shells, we might knock out one of his 2. And of course, he incapacitates one of our 4. But guess what? We have 4 gun turrets. That's okay. I can afford to lose 1 for now. No big deal. Just gonna weather this storm. Yamato in the background's taking damage. Teammates doing nice. I'm trying to get my shell to arc into his superstructure. And yes, I am still firing AP. If he shows too much side, we can punish him. We're able to successfully knock him out with the follow-up from the Haku. And B point is defended. Yamato is destroyed. All that's left is the kid and the enemy aircraft carrier. And we've had a little bit of aircraft carrier engagement, but this next little bit, you're going to see just how effective a weathered, beaten Puerto Rico AA is at defending itself. And I think it defends itself quite nicely. Oh, man. The kid. Perfect position for him. He's going to knock out the friendly DD. I try and send any shell over there that I can in hopes that I'll get something on him. Now you can see we've used the priority sector, but because it's a cruiser and not a battleship, although it plays very much like a battleship, it has a really fast recharge on its priority sector. And because of that, it really weathers any aircraft very, very well. I'm incredibly impressed. I even spent time trying to communicate when I should be using the next charge on my priority sector. Easily able to defend myself from a tier 10 aircraft carrier. I was really impressed with the AA power with this build. I did not expect that I could easily defend myself on multiple attack. We still have a lot more aircraft example to go through, so just wait. But enemy kid, he's moving to try and capture the base. It's an obvious play by them. The enemy CV is trying to drop his torps on me, and I'm going to use my speed, my 35.7 knots with speed flag, getting through this area. Having this tighter choke point of islands really helps limit his options. And we're able to knock out 3 aircraft on the first pass, and we'll easily be able to finish off the second. Yeah, basically, you only take 1 pass of enemy aircraft if you play your priority sector correct. You could choose to drop Hydro and pick up defensive if you want it to not be anything. Probably be a little overkill. You can weather it quite well. You know, you don't have to go all hardcore. There were times where the Hydro was very useful and gave us a warning of torpedoes. It allows us to be more aggressive in close to targets, which is something that the Americans are very well known for. They have the shell arcs to encourage that kind of play, and they don't have the kind of range. Yoshino's able to finish off the kid. That unlocks my attention to fully dedicate it towards the enemy aircraft carrier, which, by chance, is perfectly broadside right in front of me. So we fire off the last little bit of our HE. Have no idea where it went. Don't really care, because I'm really excited to fire all of this AP in his broadside. We know that there's an aircraft incoming on the top left, and I'm not really worried. We get a nice Citadel broadside. He's probably going to move. Our continuous damage, though, is really nice. We regularly average 3 to 4 aircraft each pass. Threw it off completely. The cooldown on priority sector is going to be down, and we'll be ready to shoot down even more aircraft. This is what these ships were made for. These American battle cruisers are made to just wipe out everything. They fill almost every role adequately, and some above average, and that's what I like. I like that I can sort of be jack of all trades. I'm not really a master of none. I'm a master of radar and working around targets, but I do have to give up on gun range, gun velocity. That is a disadvantage. But if I play it out the same way as this, you know, close to the objectives, providing that radar, hydro, AA, I'm a really great support ship in close. I can go range, I can go in melee, and it works out very well. And I think we did quite well for our first game ever playing in the Puerto Rico. 6 kills, 8 citadels, 231,000 damage done, 51 aircraft shot down, 3,137 base XP. I'm not sure if the ship is OP or I just got lucky, but I was really pleased with the Puerto Rico. Felt like it could handle every situation quite well. It looks great, and hey, it's more of what I love. Lots of guns. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to check out more of my content, click the most recent or the most relevant uploads. You could also choose to subscribe to my channel. We do daily World of Warship videos, first impression, how-to, news, and review related. My North American recruit invite is on the screen. You can take advantage of that. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.